So I think this may be the last project, and then the semester is done. So I'll try and be brief. My name is Jared Thorns. A little bit of background. I'm an industrial engineer, unlike most everybody else who seems to be IT based around here. I'm IE based. This year I've worked for a communications company. Previously I worked in a factory for about 3 years, so I just mentioned about the factory thing because I think I have some sort of primitive yet significant experience on how to improve things. That was my job in the factory for a while. So, and I would say, can you do two things at once? And so I say, why not do two things at once with this project? I'll do a project for class and also a project for myself. And so my subject matter, my information product, my collector, custodian, consumer, and manager is me. So I developed a process, the manufacturing process. So you can't improve what you can't measure, but if you can measure it but you can't record it, you aren't going to do very well either. So, and also you're not going to record what's too hard to record or what is too, I guess, expensive to record. So, we've been improving things in business for a long time, but I think now we're kind of getting to where you can improve yourself quite a bit. You can track yourself and analyze yourself based on objective metrics now. So I wanted to go that route. So there's the mirror. How am I going to do this? Well, I work for a communications company now. I have access to any kind of gadget I can think of in that realm. And how do I, where's my database? Well, Google gives you gigabytes of databases for free. So I got this idea from Kevin Kelly. He's got a really cool blog out there. You want to check it out. The Quantified Self, he has this portion of the blog where he presents new technologies for, analyzing yourself and tracking yourself. So I'm interested in knowing and improving myself. It's becoming easier and easier for everyone to do it. Hopefully, I can influence some of you to do this maybe in the future. You have free storage, so the technology is simpler and simpler every day. And now we have a tool for actually analyzing ourselves via this class. So originally I started out with 26 metrics that I was going to track on myself. I started out saying that I was going to have an entry for every hour that I was awake. Within a couple weeks, I did some cost-benefit analysis on that and decided that was very much too extreme. So I cut it down to 15, and I tracked myself twice a day, once before lunch, once after lunch, to give me a good perspective on, things such as, have I had a headache? How's my productivity level? Food consumption. And basically I was interested in maybe I can find some correlations between these things. So here's just a snapshot of what I entered every day. So I had 4 key metrics that I did analysis on from the metrics that I kept, and one of them was fatigue. How tired am I? 1 to 10. How am I feeling? As you can see here, this was out of control. Moving range also out of control. Productivity. I just measured it as a proportion between 0 and 1. Do I have work? Am I productive in my work? Am I getting things done? This steep drop right there was kind of finishing up one project and transitioning into the other, and it was like Friday. So got pretty low there, but also out of control. There's a range. I tracked my calorie consumption, and it looked a little bit chaotic, but then I broke it down into breakfast and lunch, and it actually was even more chaotic then. And also wanted to track my hours of sleep. I recorded that in the morning. Wanted to see if there's any correlation between, fatigue, sleep, productivity, and sleep. I did a P-chart on everything to see if I noticed any correlations, and I couldn't find any, but I also did a P-chart for my other 3 metrics against sleep. I wanted to see if sleep was affecting how I ate or my productivity. It also didn't come up with any strong theories there, but again, I was just looking, eyeballing these charts. I didn't run any kind of formal statistical analysis on that. But, that opportunity for formal statistical analysis exists now because I have the information and intend to keep on with the information. Some of my conclusions, so 3 out of 4 primary metrics of primary concern were out of control. So obviously I can work to bring those into control. And actually, one of the things I like about this is if you have control over something, you get self-esteem from perceiving that you have control over your environment. So if you have a goal and you want to achieve that goal, if you can track your progress towards it, you can have better self-esteem. So the process, I did improve the process, as I mentioned before. I started out with 26 metrics, cut it down to 15. I know that the process side wasn't a specific goal of this project, but there was some data quality analysis that went into refining the process. So several implications for improving the data quality of this project. I think that when you make a decision, when you decide something's valuable enough to track it and to analyze it, that the process is just inherently going to get better, just because you've made that value decision. Now, in the business world, it doesn't just get better automatically. You have to make strides towards it. But I think that depending on how many people within the business decide that it's valuable, you'll see progress towards your goal. And since in this project, I'm the only stakeholder, I'm the IP consumer, I have an interest in making it get better. So there's this self-fulfilling aspect to my analysis. So cost benefit based on any values that you perceive, any goals, you can modify this information product. Like the other day, I was having a little more headaches this week, it seemed. So I decided to track how many cigarettes a day I smoked. Smoked like 1 or 2, but maybe that has some bearing. Also, another way to improve this this information product would be to just implement some kind of couple sentences of maybe journal entries. You could really use to track assignable causes to whatever you're tracking. And also, it's only going to get easier and easier to implement something like this for yourself. Healthcare costs are soaring, and if you just go to the doctor and say, I'm sick, well, they're going to want to know how you live. So this is something that you can potentially improve your life with. So, question.